big shot by Brian Shaw, Rick Fox. And I used to go to them on nights of closeout games and say, I'm coming to you, be ready. Did Brunson and Cat come to you, and did anybody on the team come to you and tell you to be ready? Because you're more than ready, my brother. You're playing great. Thank you, man.
Jalen Brunson just stamped his name all over the Eastern Conference Finals. On Monday, he officially grabbed the Eastern Conference Finals MVP award with a clean, unanimous vote after leading New York to a brutal sweep over the Cleveland Cavaliers.
But for the first time since 1999, we can say the Knicks are going to the NBA Finals.
27 years is a long damn time, okay? It's been long, and it's been a lot of suffering in the process, but it all ended tonight, baby.
The Knicks stayed completely on fire, stacking up 11 straight wins as they stormed into the NBA Finals like a team on a mission. Brunson dropped 16 points in Monday night's wild 130-93 Game 4 blowout, helping New York slam the door shut early. Cleveland looked overwhelmed from the jump, while Brunson controlled the pace the entire night like the heartbeat of the team. Against the Cavaliers, Brunson averaged 25.5 points and 7.8 assists while shooting an efficient 48.7% from the field.
I can't even contain my excitement. I'm not gonna lie.
His rise has seriously shocked people around the league. A lot of fans never expected this kind of takeover from a guy who entered the NBA without huge hype around his name. After coming into the league as a second-round draft pick, Brunson climbed his way into becoming a 3-time All-NBA selection, a 3-time All-Star, and now the 2026 Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That kind of jump does not happen often, especially in New York, where pressure crushes players fast. Knicks legends Walt Frazier and Patrick Ewing handed Brunson the Larry Bird Trophy in a huge moment for the franchise. Brunson kept it humble afterwards, saying, "My teammates, the belief they had in me, this coaching staff, this organization, this fan base, without them, none of this is possible." Last season, he also helped New York win the NBA Cup and grabbed NBA Cup MVP honors too. The guy just keeps stacking trophies. Now the Knicks are heading to the NBA Finals for the first time since 1999, and the energy around the city is unreal. Years ago, before Brunson became one of basketball's biggest stars and helped revive New York basketball, he was simply trying to prove he belonged in the NBA. Today, people look at him as one of the best point guards in the entire game. His leadership, calm attitude, and clutch performances pushed him into another level completely, but his road to the top was far from easy. Before the All-Star appearances and sold-out crowds screaming his name, Brunson entered the NBA with major doubts surrounding him. Scouts questioned his size, his athleticism, and whether he could ever become a franchise player. A lot of people completely missed what was coming. From a bench role in Dallas to becoming the face of basketball in New York City, Brunson's journey has been different from most stars. Nothing was handed to him. Every step looked earned through nonstop work and patience. It all started in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, not far from New York City, where basketball became part of his life early. His father, Rick Brunson, played professional basketball and spent 9 seasons in the NBA. Growing up around NBA locker rooms gave Jalen a rare look at the business side of basketball from a young age. Most kids never get that kind of experience. His mother, Sandra, noticed something unusual when he was younger. Many of Jalen's closest relationships were with Knicks players like Larry Johnson and Marcus Camby. She wanted him spending more time around kids his own age, so she enrolled him in pre-K. Still, basketball stayed around him constantly, and it clearly shaped the way he saw the world. Jalen already knew what he wanted for his future. He wanted to follow his father's path and make basketball his life. Then one emotional moment changed everything. In 2006, when Jalen was just 10 years old, he joined his dad at a Philadelphia 76ers preseason practice. But once they arrived, Rick Brunson received difficult news. The team had released him. Breaking that news to his son was not easy at all. Walking away from his playing career instead of chasing another NBA contract hit hard for Rick. Before leaving the locker room that day, he gave Jalen advice that stayed with him for years. If you really want this, man, you've got to work like nobody's business. That message became a huge part of Jalen's mindset and approach to the game. Rick's playing career ended, but coaching opened another chapter for the family. It also meant constant change. Over the next several years, the Brunson family moved 7 different times while Rick chased coaching opportunities around the league. Through every move and every adjustment, basketball stayed at the center of Jalen's world. By 7th grade, Jalen stopped playing other sports so he could fully lock in on basketball. Around that same time, Rick became his trainer too, putting him through intense one-on-one workouts that built the foundation for everything that came next. Jalen and his father developed a serious training routine. During middle school, they worked hard together 3 times a week. Once high school started, the grind became daily. Long workouts, non-stop repetition, discipline, and pressure all became normal for him. Every session was preparing him for bigger stages ahead. Then high school finally brought something Jalen had not experienced much growing up: stability. His family eventually settled down in Lincolnshire, Illinois, near Chicago, finally giving Jalen some stability after years of moving around. That steady environment started changing everything for him both on and off the court. Once he got to Stevenson High School, people quickly realized he was different. As a freshman, Brunson earned all Lake County honorable mention recognition, but his sophomore season was where things really exploded. Stevenson started the year with a decent 10-4 record before suddenly catching absolute fire. Led by Brunson, the team ripped off 19 straight wins and charged all the way to the state championship game. Standing in their way was Simeon Career Academy, one of the biggest basketball powerhouses in Illinois, led by future NBA names Jabari Parker and Kendrick Nunn. Stevenson could not finish the job. Simeon won 58-40, and Brunson struggled badly in the second half, scoring only 1 point after halftime. It was a rough ending on a huge stage. Still, the loss did not stop people from noticing what Jalen had accomplished that season. He averaged 21.5 points per game and earned All-State second-team honors. What really shocked people was the fact that he was the only sophomore in Illinois to receive All-State recognition that year. His name started spreading fast across the basketball world. The following season, Stevenson came back even stronger and looked completely dominant. The team built an incredible 32-1 record heading into the playoffs, with Brunson leading the charge every night. But the postseason brought another monster challenge. Stevenson matched up against Whitney Young High School in the semifinals, led by future NBA center Jahlil Okafor. Brunson responded with one of the craziest performances of his entire high school career, dropping a record-setting 56 points. The crowd was going wild watching him take over possession after possession. But even after that unbelievable scoring outburst, Stevenson still lost 75-68. That one stung badly. Even with the painful loss, Brunson's season was impossible to ignore. He averaged 26.1 points, 5.4 rebounds, 4.7 assists, and 2.9 steals per game, putting together one of the best seasons in Illinois basketball that year. The awards started pouring in quickly after that. Jalen won Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year and became the only junior selected to the All-State first team. By then, his reputation had grown far beyond Illinois. Major college programs from all over the country wanted him badly. Brunson became a 5-star recruit and the top-ranked player in the entire state. More than 8 schools offered him scholarships, but before his senior season even started, Brunson made his choice official and committed to Villanova. That decision turned heads because expectations around him were already huge. Then came his final high school season, and Brunson somehow added even more hype to his name. He broke Lake County's all-time career scoring record, but the biggest moment came when Stevenson returned to the state championship game. This time, there would be no heartbreak. Brunson scored 30 points in a dominant 57-40 championship win, finally bringing home the state title after falling short in previous years. It felt like the perfect ending to an incredible high school career. The awards kept stacking up too. Jalen won Illinois Mr. Basketball and secured Illinois Gatorade Player of the Year for the second straight season. By the time he left high school, he had already built one of the strongest basketball resumes in Illinois history. Once he arrived at Villanova, the pressure only got bigger. As one of the top recruits in the country, people expected him to deliver immediately. Brunson wasted no time proving he belonged. Running the offense as a freshman starter, he helped push Villanova into the national spotlight fast. The Wildcats climbed to number 6 in the country and entered March Madness looking like a serious championship threat. Then came the NCAA tournament, where Brunson stepped onto college basketball's biggest stage with everything on the line. One of the biggest moments came in the Elite Eight against powerhouse Kansas. Both teams traded huge plays late in the game, and the pressure was intense. Brunson stayed calm and knocked down 2 clutch free throws that helped seal the victory for Villanova. Big-time players show up in big-time moments, and Brunson did exactly that. The Wildcats carried that momentum straight into the Final Four, blowing past Oklahoma before facing North Carolina for the national championship. That title game became legendary after Chris Jenkins hit the unforgettable buzzer beater that basketball fans still talk about years later. During that championship run, Brunson played a major role despite only being a freshman. But just like in high school, his second season took everything to another level completely. Villanova finished ranked #1 in the nation, and Brunson was becoming one of the biggest reasons why. He averaged 14.7 points and 4.1 assists while earning unanimous All-Big East first-team honors. At that point, it was becoming clear that Jalen Brunson was no ordinary college player anymore. Then came a major setback for Villanova. The team entered the NCAA tournament with huge expectations, but everything fell apart fast when they got knocked out in the second round. For most players, that kind of loss can stick with them. For Jalen Brunson, it turned into pure motivation. His junior season completely changed the conversation around him. Villanova finished the regular season ranked #2 in the country, while Brunson led the squad with 18.9 points and 4.6 assists per game. By that point, he was no longer just a solid college player. He had become one of the biggest stars in college basketball. Once March Madness started, Villanova looked unstoppable. The Wildcats steamrolled through the NCAA tournament, winning every single game by double digits on their way to another national championship. Brunson controlled the offense with confidence, leadership, and calm under pressure that made him stand out from almost everybody else in college basketball. By the time his college career ended, Brunson had built one of the strongest resumes fans had seen in years. Championships, leadership, awards, big moments, there was barely anything left for him to prove at the college level. After the season, he officially declared for the 2018 NBA draft. A lot of people expected Brunson to hear his name called early. He had winning experience, production, leadership, and a history of showing up in pressure moments. But draft night quickly turned uncomfortable. The 2018 draft class was packed with talent. Names like DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Trae Young dominated headlines, while future stars kept flying off the board. Pick after pick passed, and Brunson kept sitting there waiting. The slide surprised a lot of people watching at home. Then Dallas finally made its move. Early in the second round, with the third pick of that round, the Mavericks selected Jalen Brunson. Looking back now, that pick turned into one of the biggest steals from the entire draft class. Dallas had suddenly landed both Luka Doncic and Brunson in the same draft, a move that would shape the franchise for years. Still, many fans wondered why Brunson had fallen so far despite all his success. He came from a basketball family, won championships at every level, and constantly delivered in big games. The problem was that scouts still questioned whether his style would fully translate to the NBA. Some believed he lacked elite athleticism and ideal size for a modern NBA guard. Others worried about his defense or questioned how high his ceiling really was. A few even viewed him as nothing more than a future backup player. Those doubts followed him into the league immediately. His rookie season in Dallas did not bring huge headlines or superstar numbers. With Dennis Smith Jr. and Luka Doncic ahead of him in the rotation, earning minutes was not easy at all. But whenever Brunson got opportunities, he quietly made the most of them. In February, he stepped into the starting lineup after Luka went down with an injury and dropped 22 points, setting a new career high at the C's. Then, just a month later, he shocked people again by scoring 34 points against the Spurs. Fans started seeing flashes of the player he could eventually become. By the end of his rookie season, Brunson had become a trusted part of Dallas's rotation. Then another obstacle hit hard. During his second NBA season, he suffered a torn labrum that required shoulder surgery, ending his season early. Serious injuries always bring uncertainty, especially for guards who rely heavily on movement and control. Still, adversity had followed Brunson his entire basketball journey, and he handled rehab the same way he handled everything else, with discipline and nonstop work. When he returned for his third season, he looked stronger and more confident than before. Brunson posted career highs with 12.6 points, 3.5 assists, and 3.4 rebounds per game, while finishing fourth in Sixth Man of the Year voting. Dallas grabbed the 5th seed in the Western Conference, giving Brunson his first taste of NBA playoff basketball. The playoffs did not go smoothly, though. The Mavericks lost a tough 7-game series, and Brunson struggled to stay consistent throughout it. His production dipped, and his minus 56 plus-minus became a talking point around the team. For someone still trying to prove he belonged on the biggest stage, it was a difficult lesson. Then Dallas made a decision that later created serious attention around the league. The Mavericks picked up Brunson's team option but chose not to offer him a long-term extension. Brunson clearly took that personally and used it as motivation moving forward. During the 2021-22 season, he finally earned a full-time starting role for the first time in his NBA career. Dallas immediately saw the difference. Brunson averaged 16.3 points, 4.8 assists, and 3.9 rebounds while helping lead the Mavericks to the 4th seed in the West. Then came the moment that completely changed how people viewed him. Luka Doncic missed the first 3 playoff games against Utah because of injury, and Dallas suddenly needed somebody to take over. Brunson stepped up and grabbed control of the spotlight. After years of watching his growth, the Mavericks suddenly found themselves in a difficult situation. Dallas had multiple chances earlier to lock Brunson into a long-term deal, but after his breakout performances, his value exploded almost overnight. Once free agency officially opened, teams around the NBA started circling around Jalen Brunson fast. But one destination stood above the rest: New York. The Knicks already had deep connections to Brunson. His father, Rick Brunson, worked on the coaching staff, and Knicks president Leon Rose had previously been Jalen's agent before joining the front office. When the deal became official, Brunson signed a massive 4-year, $104 million contract with the Knicks, officially bringing him to a franchise that already felt familiar to him. For New York fans, this was not just another signing. It felt personal. Jalen Brunson was officially a Knick, joining the same organization he had grown up around as a kid. For a franchise desperate for stability after years of chaos, the move completely shifted the energy around the team. Before Brunson arrived, the Knicks had only reached the playoffs once in 9 seasons. The organization badly needed leadership, toughness, and somebody who could stay calm under pressure. Brunson brought all of that immediately. As New York's lead guard, he made an instant impact on the offense. The ball moved better, teammates looked more comfortable, and players like Julius Randle benefited heavily from Brunson's control and decision-making. The Knicks suddenly looked organized and dangerous again. In his very first season with New York, Brunson exploded for career highs with 24 points and 6.2 assists per game. More importantly, the Knicks started winning consistently again. After finishing 11th in the Eastern Conference the season before, New York jumped all the way to 5th place. The offense made one of the biggest leaps in the NBA too, rising from 22nd in the league to 3rd. Brunson gave the Knicks something they had been missing for years: a closer, somebody who wanted the ball late in games instead of running from pressure. Then came the playoffs, where Brunson raised his game even higher. Against Cleveland, he helped lead New York to a dominant 4-1 series win, giving the Knicks their first playoff series victory since 2013. Brunson averaged 24 points per game during the matchup and looked completely comfortable under the bright lights. The next round against Miami did not end the way New York wanted, but Brunson still kept delivering huge performances. Facing elimination in Game 6, he exploded for 41 points and finished the series averaging 31 points per game. Even in defeat, something had clearly changed around the city. Basketball energy was alive again in New York, and Brunson was right at the center of it all. The same player scouts once doubted because of his size and athleticism had suddenly become the face of one of the NBA's biggest franchises. Then Brunson somehow found another level. He averaged 28.7 points and 6.7 assists while producing some of the biggest performances of his entire career. Against San Antonio, he dropped a career-high 61 points in one of the wildest scoring nights of the season. Later against Phoenix, Brunson torched the Suns for 50 points while tying an NBA record by knocking down 9 straight three-pointers without a miss. Fans inside the arena could barely believe what they were watching. One hot streak after another kept adding to the growing Brunson hype. The huge moments just kept coming. Brunson became only the 4th player in Knicks history to score 40 or more points in back-to-back games. He also tied the franchise record with 36 games, scoring at least 30 points in a single season. That is elite company in New York basketball history. Then came another major milestone: his first NBA All-Star selection. Inside Madison Square Garden, the crowd started chanting something even bigger. MVP, MVP! Brunson looked emotional afterward and said, "I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say." Years of hard work, criticism, and proving doubters wrong had finally brought him to that moment. The Knicks finished second in the East and entered the playoffs carrying serious expectations. Their first playoff challenge came against Philadelphia, with Joel Embiid back in the lineup. New York also entered the series without Julius Randle because of injury, and many people picked the Knicks to lose early. Brunson answered those doubts immediately. He opened the series with games of 22, 24, and 39 points before taking things to another level completely. Over the final 3 games, Brunson scored 40 or more points every single time, joining one of the rarest playoff scoring groups in NBA history as New York eliminated Philadelphia in 6 games. Then came a brutal second-round battle against Indiana. Brunson opened Game 1 with another 40-point performance, becoming just the 4th player ever with 4 straight playoff games scoring at least 40 points. The Knicks grabbed the early series lead, but problems quickly started piling up. Mitchell Robinson suffered a fractured ankle. OG Anunoby battled a hamstring injury. Indiana suddenly grabbed momentum with back-to-back wins at home, and pressure started building around New York again. Brunson refused to back down. In Game 5, he exploded for 44 points, once again carrying the offense on his shoulders. Every big game kept reminding fans how crazy his journey really was, from overlooked second-round draft pick to superstar leader of the Knicks. But eventually, the injuries became too much for New York to overcome. The Knicks dropped the next 2 games, and things got even worse in Game 7 when Brunson fractured his left hand. Just like that, the season was over. Still, none of that erased what Brunson had already built. A player once overlooked because of size and draft position helped restore belief inside one of basketball's most demanding cities. He delivered in pressure moments, embraced the spotlight, and became the leader of one of the NBA's biggest franchises. And if Jalen Brunson's journey has proven anything, it is that people counting him out usually ends up backfiring badly.